Hello everyone! I'm Grim, a freelance artist, and I've been doing art my entire life. And from that, I have learned that a lot of quote-unquote being good at art is a lot more about your relationship in your head to your art than quote-unquote talent or what you're physically capable of. Which, muscle memory is real, but it's not the entire battle. So, to that end, I wanted to share some tips I've learned over the years that have helped me get better at art. And all of them are about changing how you think about your work, which is super essential because a lot of the time it's us artists that get in our own way. I'd also like to add that while I'll be talking about illustration specifically, I think a lot of these will apply to other mediums and creative practices too. So, if you're a writer, an animator, a musician, stick around, see if something helps you. And before we get into things, one last general note, none of this is a call-out post. It's a collection of stuff I've learned from studying art for many years, both independently and in classroom settings. If you feel called out because something applies to you, please don't take it personally. I don't know you, and you don't know me. It's literally impossible for it to be personal. But maybe reflect on why it seems personal. I mean, you clicked on this video to have a better relationship with your art, right? Look, that's all I can say to that point. Anyway, on to the first tip. I think one of the biggest things that's necessary to improve at any artistic medium is to be willing to take healthy critique on your work. This doesn't mean to accept all critique blindly. Let's be real, some critique is bad for various reasons, and that is its own entire video. But it does mean to put away the need to defend your work when talking to someone who is trying to help you and to consider their ideas earnestly. And especially if they're like your art director. That's a really good way to not get brought on to the next project by not listening to your AD. This also goes doubly so for critiquing your own work. Be fair to yourself, but be honest. Not being able to take critique on your art can stunt your growth because you're either too scared to hear something bad, or your ego's too big to hear anything besides praise, or something in between. Whatever it is, a practical step to getting better at this one is to practice letting folks finish giving their critique, say, okay, thank you, and think about it on your own later rather than playing defense. And also, in a professional setting, choosing to be polite is one of the things that will make sure you get hired again. A big reminder that this is only for fair critique. If someone isn't your target audience, or is just tearing your work down for any reason besides earnestly being invested in your improvement, then this advice doesn't apply. With the hard-to-swallow critique pill out of the way, let's get down to my next bit of advice for improving at art. Learn to stop doubting or shaming yourself for your ideas and just go make them as they are. From my own experience, your most earnest, vulnerable work will be the stuff people connect with you on. Every time I've acted on a piece of crit from someone that didn't seem that valid, but also didn't seem like a big deal to the piece, it's made the piece worse. And every time I've gone for the complex, ambitious, unsavory idea that makes people uneasy for one reason or another, it's been worth it. Even if I didn't hit exactly what I wanted, something worthwhile was made, and somebody appreciated what I was going for. Anyway, this is a really long-winded way of saying, cringe is dead! Be free! I can't give you concrete action on how to do this one. Only you can kill the cringe police in your head. Or therapy. But I'm not a therapist. But enough about that. My last piece of art advice for you today. It's all practice. Don't wait until you've quote-unquote practiced enough to make the big thing. Stop noodling around on the page to make it quote-unquote perfect. Just do what feels right and looks good to you, and call it done. You'll only get practice making big pieces of art by just making the big pieces. And you'll never make quote-unquote perfect finished art if you don't finish any of your art. So, rather than putting all your work on a pedestal and demanding an impossible standard, go forth, have fun, be free. If you want to improve, you will only do so by practicing. So, why not regard all of it as practice? And that's all I have for you today. I hope that at least one of these tips help you have a better relationship with your art, and if you have any of your own, you should throw them in the comments below. This video actually started from an idea suggested by a friend, so if you are watching it, hi, thank you. You know who you are, you delightful devil, you. Anyway, I don't usually plug this here because it's not strictly connected to these videos, but if you have some cash to spare, which I know is rare nowadays, and you need someone to give you critique on your art and it would help keep you accountable, I have a Patreon. At the $15 a month tier, you can send me one piece a month, tell me what you want to work on with it, and I'll help out how I can. You'll also get a bunch of other perks like unwatermarked art, monthly sketches, and commission discounts. However, that said, thank you just for sticking around to the end of the video, regardless of whether or not you're a patron or ever commissioned me or whatever. I'm just happy that you watched my little rambling on the internet. Anyway, if you had a good time and you want to see more of my stuff like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, all that algorithm-pleasing jazz, and I don't know exactly what I'll have in store for you next week, but it will be something, and it will be art-related. So, bye-bye!